I'm Tyson LeBlanc,
And I'm Cade Baldridge, and we're the middle infield at KU.
and we feel blessed to be Jayhawks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Hanni and the Hawks presented by Jefferson's. We're recording today inside the Kansas Nation studios, and so thrilled to have two members of the Kansas Jayhawk baseball team with us today. The team that has sparked baseball fever all across Jayhawk Nation, a club doing unprecedented things in the regular season at KU, and big hopes for the postseason as well. We get a chance to catch up with your middle infielders. At second base, Cade Baldridge. At shortstop, Tyson LeBlanc. And they're both here today, although you're kind of switching me up here. Normally I'm seeing Tyson on the left, Cade on the right when I'm looking at the field. But the dynamic duo, great to have you guys in studio today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Glad to be here.
Well, let's start with the obvious question. How much fun are you having, and what is life like as a Kansas Jayhawk baseball player these days?
That's a blast. I mean, can't complain when you're winning. Winning's like one of the best things ever. So at the rate we're winning at, we've been having a blast being around the teammates every day. Good vibes.
Cade, how about you?
I would have to say it's some of the most fun baseball I've ever played. I feel like this team has like a sense of energy or something that I haven't experienced since I was a little kid. Like, it just means so much to this team to get out there and compete every day. And at the end of the day, whenever we're winning, it makes things a lot better. So it's been a blast.
Well, it's been a blast to cover you guys, and I sincerely believe the best is yet to come. I want, in the half hour that we have together today, to kind of do a deep dive into your baseball backgrounds, what attracted you to Kansas, and then what it's like to play for Coach Fitz and his staff, what it's like to play at Hoagland Ballpark with that awesome student section and all of the above. But for folks that are tuning in for the first time and hearing baseball on Hanni and the Hawks presented by Jefferson's, we normally have football and hoopers on here, but give us a little bit of your background. Let's educate them on these two all-conference caliber middle infielders. Cade, you come from Roth, Oklahoma, Cowley County Community College before coming here. Obviously, Tyson's from down in Louisiana. You can hear it a little bit in his accent there from Maurice, Louisiana, and LSU Eunice. Tell me your baseball upbringing, and we'll start on the left side of the couch with Cade. Who were your heroes growing up, and when did you know you were pretty gifted and you might have a chance to play in college?
Yeah, I don't know how far back you want me to go, but baseball for me started at a high school baseball field. My dad was a high school baseball coach in the town that we lived in. It's called Roth, like you said. That's whenever I started, like, from the moment I could walk or anything, I was always playing baseball. So my dad would coach, and then whenever he was done coaching the game or whatever, we'd go out in the outfield and just play around, do whatever. And then I really just stayed local when I was a little kid, like just playing baseball at all the closest towns surrounding Roth. And from then, in high school, I think it was my sophomore year, I committed to Cowley County and went there, had the time of my life. It was a lot of fun. And then it was my sophomore fall is whenever I started getting some looks from schools. And when I came on my visit to KU, I just knew that's where I wanted to go. So that's kind of my story. If you want some more questions, I could dive deeper into it.
Absolutely. But what was it that sold you so immediately on KU once you got here?
I feel like it was just the coaching staff, really. Like, the fact that Fitz came in here, like, kind of turned the program around, like, did a million good things. That was kind of just an eye-opener for me. I thought that the KU was going in the right direction, so I thought it was a no-brainer to come here. So.
No doubt. You guys were a part of 3 consecutive number 1 rated junior college recruiting classes, back to back to back number 1 rated JUCO classes. Tyson, did that help in selling KU, the fact that they'd had such success in taking guys from the JC ranks? You're winning championships at LSU Eunice. You hear about Coach Fitz, who had LSU ties. Pick up the story from there, as well as your baseball background before that.
Yeah, kind of like Cade said, it was a no-brainer. Once I looked at the track record of the coaches, I've come from so many winning programs. Like in high school, we won state championship, went to JUCO, won a national championship my freshman year. So I didn't want to take a step back going to the Division I level. So knowing Fitz and where he had came from, I knew he knew nothing but winning. He was a winning coach. He had flipped the program around and within his first 3 years here. So I knew they were on track for something good. And when I came on my visit, I actually came on the visit with Cade, and they did such a good job on the visit breaking stuff down and each individual player, how they were going to develop them in their year or two that they were here. So it was super intriguing for me to see all the numbers behind it and all that, and the plan that they had for us. Going back to the younger days of baseball, I think I figured out I had a knack for baseball probably around, I'd say I was 7 or 8 years old. We used to hit in the backyard at my grandparents' house, and it was about, I don't know, I can't give you an exact, it was probably 80 yards from where we had hit to the road. And that, like, 7 years old, that was my goal, was to hit it on the road. Well, about, I don't know, 5th time we were taking BP out there. And the part of the story I'm leaving out is, like, down the left field line was my grandparents' window. So I had to stay through the middle of the field. I had to hit it dead center. But probably about the 5th time we were taking BP out there, I started hitting them on the road, losing all the baseballs. So my parents were like, all right, well, maybe we have some here. So they built me a batting cage in that same backyard so we could hit in the cage without losing all the baseballs. So that's probably back when I found out I had some good hand-eye coordination and baseball could take me a little ways.
It's kind of ironic because in your final regular season homestand, you hit a home run down the left field line, and my call on TV was, that white SUV just got tagged on A. Smith Drive. He hit it to the road. So who knew? 14 some years later, you'd be doing similar things, hitting it to the road. I'm curious in hearing that response about the visit on campus and how they sold you of areas of development. This is how we're going to build you and develop you. This is where we think we can make you even better here or there. What were those specific conversations for each of you? And have you seen growth in those areas a year later?
Yeah, I feel like Coin does an amazing job with all the recruitment, and Warnbach just setting up the itinerary for the visits and whatnot. But then just getting to speak with Coach Hancock and Fitz, you could just tell that they had a consistent, like something about them was just like super consistent in what they did, like things that I wouldn't even think of, that I hadn't even evaluated on myself. Like they already knew about me, and so like that was the most eye-opening part to me, was like they were paying attention to stuff that I had never even heard of. So like whenever they were showing me that, and like if I was doing good or doing bad or whatever, but the fact that they knew about that and they already knew about like how I was doing in those areas was like, that was special to me. I knew that they knew what they were doing, and it was obvious because the team before us that was here, like they had a lot of success and whatever. So I thought just the attention to detail that they had was kind of what sold me.
Yeah, and similar to what he said, when I came on my visit, our JUCO was really old style. We didn't use Synergy or TrackMan or any of that, so we didn't have videos. Like, we had a live stream of our games, and I'm not sure that the live streams even stayed on demand. So, like, you have to do some deep diving to find videos of us playing games, and I sat down in this big fancy room with glass windows surrounding me with 4 TVs on the wall. And the first thing that Hancock did was pull up videos of me playing in junior college. And I was like, well, how'd you find these videos? And he was like, don't worry about that. Like, we do our research. So he pulled up some videos of me hitting and, like, broke it down. Like, and he was like, this is what we like. And then I had a player comparison, like a MLB player comparison. So I thought that was pretty cool to see, like, they even went and do their, like, research on former MLB players to see who I was most like. And
was it Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle?
I wish I remembered it too. It was, all I know is he played for the Padres. If I would go search up like the 2016 to 19 Padres roster, I might be able to find the name, but off the top of my head, I cannot remember the name ever. I usually have to ask my dad, like, hey, who do you compare me to? Because he remembers. But
this is before the Fernando Tatis days.
Yeah.
But it was a middle infielder for the Padres.
No, I don't think it was middle infielder. They were comparing swings. So it wasn't player comp. It was just like, hey, this is who you swing like. This is like your type of build. I want to say he played outfield. I'm gonna have to go do my research too. But once he did that and broke everything down, and then told me like, hey, look, like you still have some power in there. And I mean, he wasn't lying. Like my power numbers shot up once I got here and started working with him. So they really had a deep plan with every single player, and it was all unique within each player. Like they weren't treating each player the same. Like they were gonna work towards your strengths. So that was really cool for me to see.
Right. Then there's the analytics side of it too, and Ryan Holland does such a great job with that. Tell me how that's helped you when they study the game from an analytics side, and they know, hey, on the 2-0, you need to sit fastball here because this is what this guy's going to throw, and they prepare you stepping into the box to know what to do.
Well, it's actually cool that both Cade and I are on here because we'll do like hitters meetings to go over the opposing pitchers, and then when a new pitcher comes in, we'll do like a whole opposing pitcher scouting report. But Cade and I have like this, I don't know if you call it superstition or what makes us feel comfortable is we go up to Snake or Ryan Holland, whatever you want to refer to him as, and for him, he looks at the pitcher versus left-handed hitters, and I'll look at pitcher versus right-handed hitters. But Snake breaks it down like so simple. Like him and I like it really, really simple. Like, hey, which two pitches does he throw the most, and what are the shapes of the pitches? Like, what kind of like is it more of a true slider? Is it more of a 12-6 curveball? What's the velo on the fastball? And he'll tell us like, hey, this is his go-to pitch. Like when you get down in the count. So it's actually cool that you mentioned Coach Holland because him and I both use Snake in that way before we go up to hit.
And I think the theme I'm detecting from you guys is every aspect of this coaching staff, somebody brings something special and unique, and in concert together, man, does it work. What a talented staff Coach Fitz has assembled here, and obviously he's the guy at the head of the spear that we're going to talk about more here in just a little bit. We're talking today with Cade Baldridge and Tyson LeBlanc, which, by the way, is the French Cajun pronunciations. It's taken a while for folks to catch on to that because it looks like LeBlanc. But are we finally getting around to saying it right?
Yeah.
Are we close?
Yeah, LeBlanc.
There you go.
LeBlanc.
It rolls off the tongue. And Cade, you got to experience a little bit of that Louisiana Cajun flavor and all the great cooking that Tyson's family did for the team early in the year. How was that?
Yeah, that was amazing. Tyson's family came up. What weekend was that?
It was
UCF.
They came up for UCF, and then we went down for McNeese.
Yeah, they came up for UCF, and they brought like this huge crawfish boiler, I guess, and they cooked I don't know how many pounds of crawfish, but at the end of the night, all the crawfish was gone. I was just looking in these ice chests, and I was like, yeah, there's no way we're eating all this crawfish. And then
Cade was dissecting them.
At the end of the night, everybody was like, where's all the crawfish? So it was good stuff. I've never had any crawfish that was cooked like that, like actually from Louisiana, so it was pretty good.
Cade got his fair share. I'd like to say he probably ate more than I did, and he was going to town.
So they brought that up for a home weekend versus UCF, but early in the season, they had a chance to kind of host you guys in non-con play.
Yeah, at McNeese. That was actually my uncle. He cooked I forget what it was, maybe jambalaya or pastelaya, one of those two. Jambalaya. So
it's neat to see a kid from Oklahoma and a kid from Louisiana that have become fast friends, not just buddies in the infield, but fishing buddies away from baseball. We're going to cover that later in the conversation, but you have to work in concert together to turn all those double plays, and so it's probably good that you have great chemistry in your friendship and do so many things beyond baseball together, and that's a point we'll hit on as well. We're going to step aside for our first time out. More when we come back with two all-conference caliber studs on your Kansas Jayhawk baseball team, Cade Baldridge and Tyson LeBlanc. More coming up right after this on Hanni and the Hawks.
Hanni and the Hawks is presented by Jefferson's with 2 Lawrence locations. Home of the best wings in town, 21 signature sauces. You got to check them out. But if wings aren't your thing, how about a burger? They hand patty their certified Angus beef every single day. Also hand bread their tenders. They make their ranch in-house. There is truly something for everybody at Jefferson's. Go see my buddy Brandon Graham and the entire crew at Jefferson's, either on Mass or Wakarusa in Lawrence, Kansas.
We're having a ton of fun today on Hanni and the Hawks, presented by Jefferson's, with two of the rising stars in the Big 12 baseball world Cade Baldridge and Tyson LeBlanc, your middle infielders for KU Baseball. And we're also brought to you in part right now by our friends at Construction Specialties. It's Lawrence's home improvement leader, providing high-caliber kitchen and bathroom remodels, plus full-service design and a certified Pella window installer. HomeImprovementLawrence.com. Well, we talked about what attracted you guys to Kansas, what made their sales pitch different. I think on top of that, the obvious thing we left out is John Coyne, the recruiting coordinator, really charismatic guy. Coach Fitz, very genuine, sincere, also charismatic. The people component, I think, is something we could elaborate on, because not only is the presentation something that'll get your attention, but you were entrusting your baseball futures to coaches that you genuinely believed could help you get to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt the staff here at KU cares about their guys, and they want what's best for them. And not only are they amazing baseball coaches, but I feel like I could call Fitz, call Coyne, call anybody on the staff anytime if I had a problem, and they would be able to help me out. So that's a big deal for me and my family too. Like, coming on the visit, my dad, like, he sensed like some trust in like the staff here. So that was a big factor in the recruiting process.
Your dad, who played at ECU in Ada, Oklahoma.
Ada, Oklahoma, yeah. My dad played at East Central College. Sorry, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, funny story about Coyne is, first time he had called me on the phone, I was like, okay, soft-spoken, whatever. And then he actually drove down to come visit like all the recruits, just to come have lunch, whatever. He did like a worldwide tour to go visit literally every recruit. And when he showed up and I saw him for the first time, I was like, wow, he's a massive dude. Like, this is not what I was expecting. But he was great with the recruiting process. He made sure to check in every week, see where we were at in our seasons. He's the most positive guy too. No matter if you're hitting 150 or 450, he's going to tell you you're the best player in the world. Like, can't really speak on it enough. But on the other side with Fitz was, I actually sat down with him on the visit in that same fancy room, whatever. And this was a big turning point too in making my decision. Is me, my mom, my dad, and Fitz were the only people in the room. And we really didn't talk much about baseball. It was just all about family, because he had the experience of living in South Louisiana for a year or two. So he was telling us his experience over there, the pros and the cons, and we were just relating back to, he coached at LSU. We were LSU fans growing up, so sure, we started chatting about that, and it made it seem like I was at home. Yeah. It didn't seem like I was moving 12 hours away from home. Yeah. So he was a big factor in my decision.
It seems almost cliched when you hear sportscasters talk about the family culture and all that, but it is genuine, and that was part of the pitch. I love that. So you come together as part of this highly touted junior college recruiting class. You get a chance to get to know each other and play some fall ball. When in the fall did you guys realize, okay, this team might have something special here? Yeah, they went to a regional last year, but we might have a chance to win a Big 12 title or possibly go deep into June. When did that light kind of come on?
I feel like it was pretty early in the fall. You could tell pretty quick. I mean, just by taking BP, that there was a lot of talent in the lineup. A lot of guys that could really hit. And then on top of that, you had Dom returning, which we didn't know anybody coming in really besides the few returners. So we knew Brady could hit, Dariel, Max, everybody could hit. And then Dom on top of that, we knew that he was going to be a stud pitcher for us. So just kind of learning the guys, but it really didn't take long. There at the start, the hitters were doing pretty well, and then there towards the end, the pitchers kind of started figuring out how to get us out a little bit, and you could tell just by facing our pitchers that a lot of them are going to have a lot of success in the Big 12. So a lot of good pitchers, a lot of good stuff, and just a deep lineup also.
To pause on vaguely for a second, there was a stretch in the regular season down the stretch where in 4 of 5 starts he had double-digit Ks, twice 15 Ks, which matched the modern era single-game strikeout record that Jimmy Walker set 33 years earlier. Just for good measure, he did it twice in a 13-day span. I mean, how dominating is that? There's a reason why I call him the Dominator. So what was it like in fall ball trying to hit him, and how did that make you better going up against a former Team USA type guy?
Yeah, that's what I was about to touch on. It didn't take me long to realize that we were going to be pretty good. When I saw how our lineup was hitting our pitchers, and then I stepped in the box to face our pitchers, and I was like, pretty dang good. Like, my first at bat was rough. My first at bat here, it was quick. It was quick. So I saw what type of caliber arms we were facing, and the teammates that would come behind me and just poke a backside double. I was like, dang, we're a high caliber team if our offense is doing this to our pitching staff and our pitching staff is this good. And then vice versa in the end of the fall, like Cade touched on, we had saw how good our offense was even when we played I think it was Bradley. We played in the fall. We put up a bunch of runs, but when our pitchers started dominating us, it was like, okay, like they're pretty special too if they're getting this lineup out that many times. So, but early on in the fall,
for sure, the season starts and you experience some success, but also some adversity, and then you catch fire. And it's 27 of 30 games result in Jayhawk victories. At one point, 21 of 22 games are won by the hottest team in America, Kansas Jayhawk Baseball. Fans are showing up in record numbers. The student section is going wild. Take me back to what jump-started you guys on that run, and then what was life like in the midst of that when you guys became not only the hottest team in the Big 12, but the biggest story on campus, and Hoagland Ballpark was a vibe, man. You wanted to be there anytime the Jayhawks were at home.
Yeah, I feel like Texas Tech was probably – the trip down to Texas Tech was probably the best thing for our season. We learned a lot about ourselves and who we were as a team. After that first day, Fitz just had talks with us, and we talked just with each other, and we figured out like what we needed to do to be able to compete against the Big 12, like teams in the Big 12. And I feel like that's kind of where we figured it out. Like that second day, the Saturday against Tech, we had a lot of hits, a lot of good pitching, but it didn't result. Like it resulted in a loss, but we learned a lot about ourselves that day. And then the Sunday we went out there and we beat Tech pretty good. So, and Tech's an amazing team, so we knew that we had a chance to be good. And then from then on, we just started winning a few games, and then the energy. I feel like everything circles back to energy, but the energy that we were playing with, like, it was making it hard to lose. Like we'd be down in the ninth inning, and like just hearing every teammate cheer for you or whatever, like you just want to do good for your teammates so bad that like, it was almost hard to like lose. So the energy was keeping us rolling, and then like you said, getting to come back to Hoagland and play, like the fans started showing up and the student section, like it just made it a lot of fun. And then when you're winning on top of that, it was amazing.
when you combine that student section with our dugout, it equals a crazy atmosphere. Our student section is tremendous, and our dugout is known nationwide now as being one of the loudest, chirpiest dugouts.
Yep.
Those two put together, recipe for success.
You do get after it, no doubt. And folks have seen that when home runs are hit, you have 1 and 2 now home run chains that you bust out. Not 1, but 2. And
home run chains, you get soaked.
The traffic cone. What is this about?
There's about 5 of them in there. The best one is the 20 cups of water you run through, the water gun that's spraying you in the face. So, like, I mean, that's cool when it's a weekend where it's 80 degrees or a day like today, but when it's 55, 60 degrees out there, it's like, all right, boys, hold off on the water here. I still got to go back out in the field with the wind blowing.
But it's stuff like that that makes it so evident how much you genuinely love each other and love playing with each other. How would you describe in your own words the collective team chemistry and what's special about this particular group?
We've bonded really well. I think the fall was a great learning point for us. Everyone was trying to earn their role for the season. And once we got into the spring, like Cade said, once we got on that winning streak, everyone loves winning. Like, vibes are high. So when we started winning 5-10 games in a row, like every other week, whatever, it was the vibes were immaculate. Dugout was immaculate. Locker room was immaculate. Everyone on the off days going golfing together, going fishing together. So even outside of baseball, it was everyone hanging out together. So this team has bonded together really well in the last 6 to 8 months that we've been here.
Cade, what would you add?
Yeah, I think that everything that he says, but then I think that a lot of it goes back to Fitz and like how they recruited this team. Also, like that's one thing that I respected about Fitz too, is it didn't matter how good you were at baseball. You could be the best player in the world, but if you weren't a team first guy, or if you weren't basically just a friendly person, like Fitz didn't really care. He does a good job of getting people here that put the team first, and then just great teammates. Like I feel like I could call any of my teammates and like they're all great dudes. Like they would help me out with anything. So
You kind of have no choice but to like bond really well, because we all go through the grind together. We're all full-time students. We all lift 5 days a week at the baseball field for 3+, 4+ hours every day. So like you're around each other almost the entire day. So the team chemistry is a big thing. Like if you have a team that doesn't like each other, that's not going to mix well with how many hours we spend together each day. So,
and when they do, they can pile up the wins. This group has done so at a historic rate, and we will talk about their favorite wins of the year when we come back. That plus some fun stuff to wrap it up right after this on Hanni and the Hawks.
Hanni and the Hawks is presented by Jefferson's with 2 Lawrence locations. Obviously, they're home to the best wings in town. You know that. But did you know they've got some creative new menu items, including their cheesy pepperoni crunch rolls, all right? These are amazing. They're stuffed with pepperoni pizza flavor, fried perfectly crispy, and served with marinara. Out of this world. How about the new Buffalo Chicken Philly? It's a twist on your favorite Philly, served with chicken and drizzled with their special mild sauce and house-made ranch. They also now have chicken and waffles. So whether you want the classic wings with 21 different sauces or something new and creative, they got it for you at Jefferson's on Mass and Wakarusa. Jefferson's, presenting sponsor of Hanni and the Hawks.
Welcome back to Hanni and the Hawks, back for our final segment with the middle infield of your Kansas Jayhawks, a record-setting group for conference success, and we're so excited to feature Cade Baldridge and Tyson LeBlanc here in the Kansas Nation broadcast studios. Hanni and the Hawks, as always, brought to you by Jefferson's. We're going to have some fun in a second with some almost like the old newlywed game back in the day, only we're doing it with teammates here, where they write down answers to the same question and hold it up and see if they pick the same thing. But before we do that, we always do something called the 2-minute drill, where I give you kind of final 4 questions, quick hitter stuff, and it's meant to show the lighter side of you guys as individuals and student athletes. First of which is, I want to hear about your favorite pastime away from baseball, because I understand it might be a shared activity. Tell me about how you guys bonded as fishermen in addition to middle infielders.
We're at the field every day, so doing something. Every single day at the field. So whenever we get a little bit of free time, we like try to find something fun to do. And Tyson happened to like fishing, so I've drug him along a few times, and we have a lot of fun out there fishing, just spending some free time.
Is it true that Cade caught the biggest fish of the year, though?
I'm sure he'll claim.
Okay, me and Ty have had a billion arguments about this, because the big fish that I had a picture with was like, there's a lot of controversy. So it was like my spot, my pole, my everything. Ty happened to be the one that picked up the rod and like reeled it in. but he caught that one, and then
We went back probably a week later and caught 2 of them. We have pictures of them, but
yeah,
the week later, would you say those 2 we caught were probably bigger than?
I ended up catching one that was bigger than Ty's. So at the end of the day, I caught a bigger fish than Ty. So it doesn't really matter.
Okay. Well, the picture we're showing on screen right now, pretty massive, especially reeled in by these 2. That's pretty cool.
I will say Cade's pretty professional with the photo taking. Like
to scale to make it look
they'll
bigger.
have a 10-pound fish, and Cade makes it look 50.
Yeah.
So you gotta take it with a grain of salt.
It's like people that take a picture like out front of a monument or something, and it looks like they're holding it in their hand, but it's all about how
kind of
close
like
to
that type of
Cade
video.
does.
Okay, very
Like I
good.
could lift the fish and hold it like this, but Cade's gonna make it look like it's.
Okay, second question. Major leaguers. I asked you earlier about influences as a kid, and we didn't really dive into that. So I'm going to change the question and say, as you look at each other as teammates, Cade, what big leaguer does Tyson remind you of? And Tyson, is there a current major leaguer that Cade reminds you of?
I'm going to give Tyson the comparison to Derek Jeter, because Derek Jeter was always my favorite player to watch growing up, and obviously he's a shortstop, and Derek Jeter is probably the player that played in the MLB that I know most about. So
Okay.
I'm going to say he plays a lot like Derek Jeter. The way that he backhands the ball in the hole, gets it across the diamond, I feel like that has some resemblance to Derek Jeter. So
The captain, I love it.
See, I didn't know we were going old time, but now that he says that, if we're going old time, I'd say Cade has some habits like Dustin Pedroia.
Okay.
I don't mean this in the wrong way. He's a smaller guy,
Sure.
hits for power, great glove. But like if we were going present time, I'm just familiar with the name obviously because I said I watched LSU baseball growing up. Was Josh Smith, because like Fitz always said about Cade, he's a Swiss Army knife, so he could play any position, and Josh Smith has done that at the big league level for the Rangers. So that was the first name that came to mind. But I think Pedroia fits him.
Very good. Very good. Each of you, tell me one thing a common fan might not know about Coach Fitz and what it's like to play for him. Something that maybe you don't see on game days at Hoagland Ballpark that you appreciate or you find interesting. Like Bodie Ray was trying to get him to do the percolator, I understand.
oh, he did the percolator.
Oh,
But something besides that.
he has a personality to him. I don't know if like outside fans could see it, but he always gives Marbach a hard time because Marbach is the guy that runs the aux for practice, so he plays the songs, and every single day he's giving Marbach a hard time. Like, Marbach, what is this playlist we have going on? Like,
Yeah.
trying to put me to sleep. So he has a funny side.
Does he?
Yeah.
One thing that I think is hilarious about Fitz is anytime that he says, like, I can't really think of an example, but he always says, like, say that we're going to BYU. He's like, I've been to BYU a million times. I'm like, Fitz, you haven't been to BYU a million times. It doesn't matter what he's talking about. He's going to say a million. And if it's something that might have actually happened, like, a ton of times, he'll say, like, a billion.
Uh-huh.
But
A little bit of
that's
hyperbole.
one thing that cracks me up about it.
How many fungos has he hit in his line?
It was probably 27 million. It's hilarious, but that's
Fantastic.
yeah, personality. He has a great personality. Yeah, that's
We'll close it down in a second with the biggest keys to a memorable postseason. But before we do that, a little bit of fun here. I'm going to toss you some pins. Like I said, fun little game here. I'm going to toss out a topic. Don't look at each other's answers as you write them down. Let's see if you answer the same thing, okay? And we'll show them up to the cameras here, and I'll read them aloud. It's kind of like the old-fashioned newlywed game. We'll see if the two middle infielders who work so well in concert together on the field, we'll see if they think alike off the field. Okay,
Let's have a spelling bee.
Jayhawk, let's have a spelling bee. I don't know if you want that.
yeah. Don't no.
Jayhawk teammates here. Who is the funniest Jayhawk in the Kansas clubhouse? If you had to pick one. Once you got your answer ready, we'll reveal them at the same time, okay? Cade and Tyson, got them ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. What do you got?
Augusto? Oh, that's a good one.
Dane and Augusto, real quickly, describe your answers.
I mean, Dane doesn't hardly do a single thing serious. I've never seen him be serious, so I feel like Dane is pretty comical guy.
And Augusto Mungarieta from
Augusto is
Venezuela.
very funny also.
Yeah.
What makes Augusto so
It's
fun?
funny because he's my roommate at home, and Augusto's his travel roommate. So we spend a lot of time with these two. But Augusto is, I mean, he's very good at English for only being here for a few years. But he says some stuff that like it'll catch you off guard sometimes, and you have to give him a hard time. But he's hilarious.
Okay, very good. Next topic. Biggest success away from baseball. Who's going to go on to have the most success in life away from baseball, and I'll have you explain your answer as to why. Like 20 years ago, everybody called Ryan Beatty the governor or the mayor because we just knew. You can put 2. Hey, man, you're leading the team in every category. You can do whatever you want. These 2, by the way, go back and forth for the team batting crown. It seems like every weekend a different one of them pulls in front of the other. Who's going to have the most success in life away from baseball? Could be based on natural leadership or a talent away from the field. They're writing down their answers. Down the stretch we come. The big reveal when you're ready is...
You're not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Toby Scheidt is the answer of Cade Baldridge, and we got Bodie and Toby giving props to the bullpen. Okay, why did you both say Toby?
Probably about 2 weeks ago, he went around the locker room asking for everyone's email and phone number. It was for a project, but he plans on, I forget exactly what he said he planned on being.
It's like financial something.
Yeah, but he has it all mapped out. Like, this is the business I'm going to run. Like, whatever, this is, like, I need this many clients. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then Bodie's in class just as much as he's on the baseball field. And he's going to be you would know.
Civil engineer.
Civil engineer.
Yeah.
And that's a tall task to handle while being a baseball player. So I give props to Bodie for being able to, I think he actually had the highest GPA on the team in the fall. So he had maintained a 4.0 and is pitching as well as he is. So I got to give him props.
Okay, very good. I think you both have long-term baseball success in your future, so you can't answer each other or anybody in the room. Next question, who has the brightest big league future one day in front of them?
Oh, man.
On a team full of guys with professional aspirations. You can't answer each other as your answer.
Hi.
Tyson LeBlanc and Cade Baldridge. See if they come up with the same answer here. The big reveal. Cade's got his ready. Tyson's got his. Let's see it. Cade says Dom and Dom. There you go. In unison. He's going to pitch, no doubt, in the bigs. That's a great choice there. Okay. The assistant coach, if you were stranded on a desert island and you had to be stuck there with somebody, this assistant coach would be the most fun to hang out with because he's just got the best personality, keeps it entertaining. You would chill with this dude. Because I think, honestly, there's like 5 options here that you can make a case for. Cade's got his ready. And it doesn't have to be stuck on a desert island. Let's say you want to take a trip with this guy because he's just fun. Cade's got his. Tyson's writing his down on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mine's JC, John Coyne.
Say again?
JC, Coyne, John Coyne.
John Coyne. Very good.
I said Marbach.
JC could mean a lot of things.
Yeah, no kidding.
And you say Luke Marbach. Yeah. Very good. And for obvious reasons with Coyne, one of the most charismatic recruiters in the country.
Yeah, 100.
Luke Marbach, is it the country dancing, line dancing moves? Or what?
If we were stranded on an island, probably would be the last person I would want to be stranded with life skills. But if we're just going to enjoy ourselves, I think Marbach's always smiling. Marbach has a tough job, and he's always smiling through it. So
that's great.
He would bring the vibes.
Last one. Singular key, the biggest key to the Jayhawks having a memorable postseason is what? What's the biggest key to going farther than ever before? We've had one trip to Omaha in our history.
The word I want to say, I don't know how to spell it.
You were not told there would be writing today. I apologize. We sprung this on you last minute. All right, Cade's got his choice. The biggest key to a deep run in the postseason for Kansas Jayhawk baseball. On the count of 3, the big reveal. The Jayhawks having unprecedented regular season success, but the key to the postseason is, we turn them around. Energy, says Cade. Chemistry and great teammates.
I wanted to.
Words you weren't sure about?
I wanted to say camaraderie.
Oh, camaraderie.
I don't even know if I said that
right. That's chemistry and great teammates. Camaraderie is a tough one. Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, you guys have been bringing the energy all season. You've got clearly a great rapport with tremendous chemistry, and this roster is full of great teammates. You just got to keep being yourselves because you already embody that every single day. thank you for giving us a season to remember. I genuinely believe the best is still yet to come, and hopefully we got more home baseball in front of us. But thanks again for coming down here today. Tyson LeBlanc, our main man, Cade Baldridge, your middle infield of the Kansas Jayhawks on Hanni and the Hawks, presented by Jefferson's.